Guys, the Hill Twins are here. Back at it again
for
with
another video.
So this
time we're actually here with ProPlayTour's DBS Premier Online Tournament. This
largest online Premier tournament to date.
Correct. 124 players.
Incredible.
Exactly. 124 players. WebCam, controlled and maintained by the judge staffs and the event organizer. It was amazing. Event ran hella smooth.
Yeah.
It was 6 rounds, 30 minutes, or I believe it was about 30 minutes, but yeah. I just know it was 6 rounds. Ran super smooth. The time, like it was, we sped through it. There was no issues, no nothing. Also, they used Best Coast Pairing Player app. I think that is the best app currently to host and use tournaments, especially the online events.
Yeah.
So shout outs to PPG.
I mean, it was just really easy to navigate and stuff through it.
Correct. So we're actually here today doing the top 16 breakdown.
Yep.
We wanted to show you guys what decks made top 16, how the meta was, the variety, and the actual leaders that was played. And again, this lovely photo that we are actually looking at was given to us by George Machado, PPG's very own. Correct. And so thank you so much. So first, let's start off with Android 21. So it's so weird. Let's talk about how many leaders were in top 16. So we got one Android 21, one AOD, one Baby Vegeta, one Zamasu, one Clash Cool, which is yours truly, one Gotenks, 2 Soulserve in top 16. Very interesting. 2 in Voca, okay. 2 Teen Gohan, and 4 Vegax. So that's about 10 different leaders in top cut. That's pretty amazing.
That is. I mean, I think that might have changed had players known, because I didn't even know that Bibbidi was unerrated. I just played Vegax because I still believe in Vegax. Yeah, but it's with Bibbidi being unerrated is absolutely the best deck. I do think more knowledge of that would have maybe changed these numbers a bit, but out of 124 players, I think that a large number of them would have been playing Vegax.
Yeah.
But still, 10 leaders hitting it in general. It's good.
Just go back to Vegax real fast before you move forward. I was playing against my opponent and he started counting past 15. I'm like, whoa, you can't do that no more. It's like, no, man, this event, this is pre-errata Bibbidi.
Yeah.
He's busted. Activate Bibbidi. I'm like, oh my god, what?
Nah, it's crazy because I was doing that too. I swung. I used the Bibbidi. I'm like, okay, I have exactly 15. Who would have thought? 15k, boom, boom. Then he attacks me, and he drops his Bibbidi, and he starts picking up. So I see this guy across from me in the webcam, and he starts picking up his drop and counting. I'm like, wait, what's going on? And he starts counting his warp. He's like, yeah, it's gonna be 37. I was like, what you mean? He's like, oh, we're not playing with errata. And I was like, no way.
Exactly. So definitely. So 10 leaders. Top 16, 124 players. Let's just jump into the leaders. Let's talk about them, discuss them, and we'll move forward from there. We got 21. This is a mono blue leader. This leader card is actually pretty weird in this format. I'm actually surprised to see this leader card.
I'm very interested to see what the actual list was, because Android 21, she's not. I mean, not for nothing, she's not a very strong
leader, especially.
She requires a lot of work. Like, the deck really has to be fine-tuned and very, very specific, in order to really make her work.
Correct.
In a way where she's going to be able to compete past a lot of relevant decks.
Correct. So, and if you guys don't know what she does, again, she's up here on the screen for you guys. When you place this leader card in your leader area, you can choose up to 1 Android scheme from your deck and activate. If you don't know what Android scheme does, here it goes. Just popped up on the screen for you guys. It's a field card, and it has an effect that once per turn, when you or your opponent plays in a battle card, that battle card cannot attack. So the first battle card you play cannot attack for the duration of the turn, and that's generally what you're using her for. And so once per turn, the leader card can choose one clone token in your opponent's battle area and remove it from the game. You draw one card. The cool part about it is that Android 21 scheme gives your opponent about 3 clone tokens, I believe, or something like that. Something like that. I could be wrong, but it's popped up on the screen for you guys again. So yeah, and I mean, one of her strengths is that she's a blue leader card, which she has access to a lot of the blue stuff nowadays, which is the Dimension Magics. She has the Unison now. She has the Heroic Prosper Trunks. So I can see blue being able to survive, and she also
she definitely just along with Android 21's scheme. I mean, she's playing against Yellow. Yellow's really not going to be able to put in play. Yellow wants to put in play big battle cards as their first cards we play because they don't really have enough energy. A lot of decks don't really have enough energy that especially Yellow, not free playing cards, blue, not being able to free play cards, like they have to actually play a card.
Correct. Next, guys, let's move forward. We have AOD, one AOD. Again, guys, we don't know what AOD is. Here it goes. It pops up on the screen just now. Permanent, treat or Agents of Destruction cards in your hand as if they had no specified cost. And then when this card attacks, choose up to 1 card from your life, add it to your hand. Then look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 Agent of Destruction card with a name with that name, add into your hand, shuffle your deck. You awaken at 4 or less life, draw 1 card, choose one of your energies. Correct.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, it gets to get even more freakier. But the good part about the deck is that this deck is similar in a way to where it wants to storm you out. It wants to play a bunch of battle cards that just can attack, and it just wants to
overwhelm the opponent.
It's
also very counter-esque. So like,
correct.
It's also very reactive, and that's another thing that adds it to its ability to defeat the opponent.
Yeah, so definitely can see an AOD slipping into top cut. Definitely underrated deck right now. I don't see a lot of you playing it. Next, talking about underrated decks, Eon, we got Zamasu. One Zamasu.
Zamasu, yeah. So I'll take the mantle on Zamasu. Zamasu's a very, very strong leader, just in the vacuum, and the biggest thing that enables Zamasu is Zeno. Outside of you really needing to play Zeno Habit, Zamasu's a very, very scary leader. Actually, I played it, and I went into a match, and I was watching it work, and it was playing against, I believe it was Jack Stack or what have you, and it was just in a very good position. So typically it can awaken on turn 2, and also it has access to dual attack. It draws multiple cards. It can draw twice a turn, or it can deal with your opponent's board. Exactly. Especially decks that don't put in play a lot of weenies, but they like to put in play one big battle card like an Abe or a Bergamo or a Gogeta. That's going bye-bye the next turn. So it has access to all these utilities. And again, like you mentioned earlier with Android 21, having access to Heroic Prospect, having access to Trunks, Counterplay, etc. And in the new set is having even more stuff. So it's definitely a strong and underrepresented leader.
Correct. Next, guys, we got Clash Cool, and I'll take it back. And I was that Clash Cool in top cut. I really enjoy this leader.
Oh, that is you, the lone Clash Cool.
Yes.
Dredge Cool didn't make it at all. That's interesting. I'm sure there's a couple of Dredge Cools, but obviously Dredge Cool's not necessarily that great. The leader's decent.
So Clash Cool, very interesting mono green leader, one of my favorite right now. Definitely important in the meta, just being able to, hand control and do a bunch of different things. Again, my list was more revolved around hand control. But if you guys don't know what he does, again, when he attacks, you draw first 2. And discard 1 green card, and when you do that, you have to draw 2 cards. He awakens at 4 less life, untaps 2 energy, which is very resourceful, especially in this meta. Means that you want to use your energy to do more things. And when he awakens, if you have a Krillin in your drop, he gains double strike and 5k. So applying a lot of damage, and and that's pretty much it. And so he's just a very powerful leader in this format. And again, my deck list will be up on the channel for you guys to review. So definitely check that out. But he was great. Did very well with him. Next, guys, we got Gotenks. Gotenks, very powerful leader. I think this leader will be seen in just about every format. he just advances in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
He's a self-awakened leader. He draws cards. Never have a little hand with Gotenks. He also pluses cards from your opponent activating extra cards.
I wouldn't say never negative. I'm never having a low hand, but Gotenks is a very versatile leader. I think that, you know, he's a leader similar to Brawley. Brawley had a better finishing effect. You know, Brawley made it so that he was a better finisher as a leader. But Gotenks definitely could maintain the game much longer. I think that Gotenks will always be a leader that is threat because of the fact that, again, just having the ability to continuously survive throughout the game, stay net advantage by your opponent, having to do things like use extra cards, resting there, and even the way the deck is developed. You know, so definitely,
absolutely right. Next we got Soulserve, and I think the winner of the event was Soulserve, which is pretty amazing. So shout out, congratulations to you. Yes, I think his name was Brandon Avacar. Shout outs to you guys. Amazing feat, which was amazing with Soulserve.
Yes, and that's extremely amazing because of the fact that, again, Soulserve is also a leader.
Oh my God, did we skip Baby Vegeta?
Oh.
Yeah, I think we did skip Baby Vegeta. Oh my God. All right, let's just quick Baby Vegeta. Okay. You guys should know what this leader does. He was running the meta all last year around this time, and you know, when he came out, very powerful leader. On the front side, activate main. He gets to once per turn, choose one card in your life, add it to your hand, switch him to active mode. So he's technically a dual attack leader. He awakens when you have two or less life. Thank you for the help. And on the flip side, he's a dual attack leader. When he attacks, you draw one card. And yeah, you know, pretty much it. He's, you know,
I mean,
he's good.
He's very good, but he's, you know, the reason why, for one, congrats, shout outs to you. Baby Vegeta is also one of those decks that we mentioned that is always going to be just kind of, you know,
you got to deal with it when it's when you still in front of it.
Baby Vegeta is just one of those decks, just like the Red Baby. Just one of those decks that it might not be the main antagonist of the meta, but essentially, if you get paired against that deck and you're unable to deal with it, you will lose because of the fact that that deck's ceiling is extremely high. And that's the same thing with Green Brawley. That's the same thing with the Jax. That's the same thing with, you know, Team Gohan, which is actually, I can't wait to speak about that. These type of decks, the second that you see them, if you're not prepared to deal with it, you're going to lose.
Yeah,
simple. You know, especially in a best of one.
And also prepare mentally. Sometimes you sit in front of these decks and like,
you know, I actually played against.
I thought this matter was over. You sit in front of this deck, and you know what it can do, and you sit there and you just defeat yourself.
Yeah. And honestly, you know, we know, at least we don't have the list, but we should know that Baby Vegeta is running, you know, at least 90% of the way that it intended to run.
I mean, Baby Vegeta being a young leader has a lot of access to a lot of defensive cards too. So even in this format, you have Nimbus.
Baby was, you know, they used Topo, so he was very aggressive, but then they were Topo on the back. I mean, Baby Mirrors were rough. So again, to attest to it, great leader. You see it. You know, it's like a glass cannon, but a little bit better than it. You know, it's legit.
So back to Soulserve. Sorry about that, guys. Soulserve, just, you know, on the front side, he's amazing. One of the best, possibly one of the best leaders. If things could have been changed around, you can't give leaders like this too much advantage because it's just too good. So on the front side, you can activate main to search the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose any card amongst them, put it to your hand, and then take one card from your hand and place it in your drop area. So this card can search
to the top 5
of the deck and just take any card. And I mean, you know, on a set of scales, this leader is,
for one, he performed, right? He performed.
Just in general, on a set of scales, you know, the leader is, like, the effect wise, the leader's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, like when you read that on any card, we're like, whoa.
Yeah. One of the issues with the leader was the lack of hand power. And, you know, again, like I said, a lot of people played this deck. We have some YouTubers who use the deck. I know Eggman has definitely used the deck and made it, you know, a aggressive version. Shout outs to you. Definitely enjoyed the deck for sure. And I think that's kind of what we see here, even in
well, I mean, even we touched the deck, right? When we first, and that's
we have
what's so
more of
good
a,
about this leader.
We actually might have this list up. Reached out to the winner, and we should definitely have the list.
Pilot.
Correct. So hopefully we get this list up for you guys. You can go ahead and check that out as well.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
definitely interested to see what he is running. But all in all, I can definitely see it.
Next, guys, we got Voca. I'm gonna shoot some Voca real fast, just because Voca is gonna be a deck like Eon mentioned earlier. That's gonna just be in any format. Again, having access to a victory strike, having access to burn, utilizing Invoker to blow up boards and dump battle cards to the bottom of the deck, and just do so much. Correct.
It can play many different games.
Yeah, Invoker is gonna always be in. I personally believe
you can push Invoker to 1 life and then they can lose the next turn off of a victory strike or off of being burned.
Exactly.
And that's the scary part,
you know. And so that's topos and super combos and stuff. Blue.
Okay, that's pretty good. Hopefully we can reach out and get that.
Correct. Next we have Team Gohan. 2 Team Gohan.
Again, that's really, really strong.
Like Eon said, this deck is just, the ceiling of this deck is super high. Just having the ability to blow out your opponent with potentially 3 triple strike attacks, it can potentially do 9 damage in 1 turn.
Yeah, and not only that, and that's just because of the fact that like Son Gohan, when if a decent pilot is playing the deck, they will give you a run for your money if your deck is not prepared for it. And it doesn't have to be you. You don't. It doesn't have to be you, the player.
Let me tell you something.
Your deck is not prepared for it.
I don't want to spend too much time on Team Gohan, but real fast, guys, you guys are gonna laugh your asses off. I just want to say this. Shout outs to Dayline Mag and the event he hosted in Las Vegas. I topped Las Vegas regional and the Las Vegas Dayline Max event, and I got smoked.
He got
smoked by Team Gohan. I mean,
bro, he got by. Bro, I saw him. I sat down. I'm like, yo, Eric, when you're top 16, when you're top 32, we good.
Top 32 was sat down in front of Team Gohan.
I sat down. I saw Eric getting back up. I said, yo, I know I was winning my matches pretty fast. I was winning my matches fast, but I'm like, okay,
I sat down.
I was trying to search school, so what's going on?
Exactly. And I sat down and got right back up. He sent my ass straight to. I took a cab or Uber to the regional. Won my top 8. I mean my top 16 because my opponent wasn't there.
Went into top 8.
Went into top 8 and got my
was like, take your ass back
by Gohan 2-0 and sent me right back in an Uber back to the LM Max event to sit there and watch the rest of the event. I mean, I was just. It was sad. It was really sad. But
okay. Yeah, but
ceiling
all in all,
too high.
Again, the ceiling is too high. If you can't handle that,
you need
push.
The games.
Yeah, and if you don't have it on hand, or if your deck's just not,
you gotta deal with 15K
worthy,
crit.
That's that.
Yep.
And the game's over. And then the Jacks.
The Jacks.
I ran the Jacks.
Exactly.
Today.
The Jacks, I think it could have been more represented. Had a lot of people. I don't know if people were in our boat where we just didn't know he was the Radder.
I legit just
I thought he was like posting Radder. The Jacks was like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm gonna smoke him. And no, this guy, like, I was playing on opponent. He was counting patch 15. Like, counted like 34.
What's going on? Like,
yeah, cool. Use another deputy. I'm just gonna let you know after you dump all that. It's a wrap. But yeah, no, bro. Deputies. 33K. I'm like, what? I was like, what? And ultimately, I did lose. That was my only loss, which was to Bajax. Only lost to Bajax. Bajax is just too good. Ceiling is too high, and that's one of the main reasons why. Probably the highest in the game.
And it's also crazy because, again, sorry to cut you off. He was saying probably the highest in the game, but again, if you have a Bibbidi versus a Bajax versus Baby Vegeta, who's winning, right? Each of those decks have the ability to push each other's shit in, especially if they get what they need first. Those decks, it's it. They all have the stopping power to do so. So that's when you come in front of these decks, even if the Jacks play vanillas, he drops 4 attackers on board, you got to deal with that.
And then
next turn, and that's turn 1.
I will attest to say that Bibbidi being 15K posted route is amazing because, like, I mean, I was still upset when I went against a 33K Bibbidi. I was just like really upset. So I guess, you know, you win some, you lose some. But yeah, so definitely represented in Top Cut for decks. I think that it, you know, could have been more represented. But what does that mean? What did this matter? What this event show us? This event tells us that, one, there's a lot of diversity in the meta, seeing 10 different leaders in top 16 out of a 124 player event. That just means that all of these decks performed well. And not only that, they made it to top 16.
Not only that, let's look at the actual numbers, right? So the Vegex obviously is, the Vegex in a nutshell is the most powerful deck in the format. Can you not do that? It's the most powerful deck in the format, so it's 4 of that, right? Boom. Then we have the Sun Gohan being such a powerful deck as well, hard to deal with. Boom. You have Voca being able to sneak out wins. It's 2 of that. The Soulserve is an anomaly, but Soulserve did perform at Daylong's All-Star on Daylong Max All-Star Showdown before, so you know, I mean the TOP, so it did well. But all in all, it just shows us that there's still room for variety in Top Cut if Vegex moves to the side.
Yeah.
And even though Vegex was at full power, because the volume wasn't there, it's the same amount as if Bibbidi was errata, but multiple people were running Vegex. You know, they would still get in.
Correct. So that's one of the biggest things. So this event definitely showed us that there is a lot of decks that can be good.
There's a lot of variety
of variety in the game, and that's always good, right? And so, yeah, so that'll be the closing to this, guys. At the end of the day, you know, I just want to quickly say WebCam events was amazing. Again, shout out to the
This is our first
WebCam event. Tips and tricks. There is Logitech cameras, and you can also get a tripod. It should cost you a little bit under $100 for both of them together. You get something nice, affordable, and it'll give you a perfect setup, perfect angle. And webcams can definitely be the way into things get better in real life. Obviously, we are in a pandemic.
This is a nuance, and obviously, this is going to be difficult. I mean, there's interactions. One of my opponents had to use it after twice during our game. So there needs to be, obviously, as we grow, we should get, more rules to coordinate with,
Yeah, of course. But these things are definitely being developed. Again, tournament organizer George from PPG definitely hosted the event. Wonderful. It was definitely fast. Shout out to the judges, Patterson, and all the other lovely judges that was on staff.
And the players. Shout out to everyone that actually joined in. 124 players, y'all. We keeping it in, boys and women.
Exactly. So yeah, it feels great to be a part of the event. And so that's what the meta is looking like right now, pre-set 11. We'll be back for another video, set 11. Things clear up.
Thank you guys for viewing the content so much. We truly appreciate it. Continue to support us. You can go ahead.
Like, rate, subscribe.
Do they still rate?
No. Like and subscribe, guys. And we will be doing a lot more content on YouTube. So, All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it.
It's been a pleasure, and stay super.